One of the key partners in a real estate business, particularly for a probate-focused real estate agent or attorney, is a title company, which really researches and helps identify who the owners are and missing documents, and maybe we'll find the missing documents or at least point us in the right direction. Really excited to have Dan Spielberg, who's with Provident Title, a company I've worked with for a long time. Dan, thanks so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. Hi, everyone.
Real quick, on a personal level, what area of geographically do you work out of?
I'm based out of the Encino office,
Okay.
but I'm a sales rep, so I work in the field. So I go anywhere to connect with agents and loan officers and investors, all the people who would be interested in working with Provident.
And as a company, what geography does Provident Title service?
We service most of the counties in California. Some of the smaller northern counties we're not licensed in, but we partner with another title company called Pacific Coast. So if someone ever did want to go through me for one of those counties, we would open the order with Pacific Coast, and they do a great job.
So when I started in the business, I really didn't understand what title reps were. I noticed they came to our office, dropped off donuts or dropped off food or some sort of handouts about the company. I never really understood the business. As I've gotten more involved in the business, I realized what a great resource a representative from a title company can be. How would you summarize like the best value that you can create for a real estate agent partner or a probate attorney who needs the help as well?
Well, like most title companies, we have a customer service department that can give, what's called property profiles, which is basic information about a property, who owns it, what the taxes are, what the deeds of trust are. And we can also do like what's called a farm package, where if a real estate agent wants a list of properties within a specific area or that meet certain parameters, we can do that. We can also do comps, which shows, properties of similar value, or what the value for a property might be compared to similar properties.
So I know title reps are often getting property profiles to clients via email. I prefer using your app, Title Pro, where I can do those myself. What percentage of the time are you sending somebody a profile you're pulling versus do you think they're doing it on their own?
Well, usually at the first couple interactions with someone, I'll order the profile for them, and so they'll get to know me and have my name. And then after a while, if they're going to be ordering a lot of information, I can get them set up with their own login information to the programs we have called REI Source and Title Pro. So if someone's going to be looking up a lot of info and they don't want to have to always go through me, we can get them their own login info for all that.
Got it. And I find that critical because I get asked all day long about the status of a property, when the deed was, when it was a notice of default filed, was a notice of trustee filed, and to pull it, you have the actual document with the actual numbers on it, eliminate some of the confusion. And so I think offering that, now obviously you don't just hand that out online. You need to establish some sort of relationship. So if a real estate agent was interested in working with you and wanted access to that report, what would they do in order to get that access?
They would just have to call me or email me. My phone number is 424-326-6514. My email address is dan@providenttitle.com. I could get them all set up with any info they need. And before I was a sales representative, I was actually a title officer for over 20 years. So I can answer all the technical, detailed title questions someone might have. And I'm familiar with probates and how all that works too. So, if attorneys need information about that or requirements for a probate transaction, I can answer all those questions too, for sure.
At what stage can a real estate agent order a prelim? When they have a lead, when a probate's opened, when they have a listing, or when the escrow is open? What's the best time to open the prelim?
I always think it's better to order it as soon as possible, just in case there's any title problems that need to be cleared up that might hold up a closing. There's really no rule that the title company doesn't say, "Hey, Mr. Realtor, do you have a listing? What's going on?" If a realtor just says, "Hey, I need a preliminary title report on this property," where we assume they've got some type of lead on it, or else they wouldn't be bothered. You know what I mean?
And so my practice has been to open a prelim as soon as I have a probate, either that we're filing the probate case, in which case we'll need deeds that have the actual title and verify and things like that.
That's a great idea too.
Yeah, I think for a lot of real estate agents, they miss that step. It doesn't cost anything. We don't be frivolous and burn out our vendors, so we don't want to order when we're not really going to get the listing. But I do think it's best practice. And so to do that, some title reps won't because they don't have the relationship with you, or they don't have the understanding of what your business is about. And that's why I think my goal today was to introduce Dan to say, you need to establish that relationship so that you can, order the business when you want to do that. Well, good. Hey, so obviously, Dan, we're in a business right now that's under tremendous change. My business has been real good, but I know that there are people who are struggling. I know that there's lawsuits. There's all kinds of talk about interest rates and the economy. What do you see consistently amongst those investors and real estate agents that are succeeding different from those that are struggling in this market?
Well, it seems like it's the agents who are using all the different marketing resources that are out there, events, videos, email, mail. I think the old practice of just, leaving business cards or flyers on people's porches just doesn't work anymore. So many people, they're at home, they're online, they don't go out as much, they're not in the office as much. So saying people are doing what you're doing with your events and videos and postings, that seems like that's the best technique at this point in time.
I try to say that it's kind of like chopping down a tree. Not that I've ever really chopped down a tree, but that you need to hit the tree from different angles to get it down. And if you just pick one angle, you're probably going to have a tough time. And I think that's what I try to coach the agents that I work with as the best practice. So that's what you're saying also, is that company agents who are using multiple methods, that's the best, that's the common thread that you're seeing?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I do in my marketing efforts too. It used to be the main thing a title rep would do would be go around to offices and, like you say, drop off donuts and stuff. But half the offices these days are like ghost towns. You go in there and it's like just the receptionist, so you can drop off business cards, but you're not really talking to agents. So
right.
I've been doing things like this. I go to events, email, social media. So yeah, I'm basically doing the same things I see the successful real estate agents do.
And I get phone calls. I literally have one here coming up with newer agents who'll tell me how much they want to work in an office where there's people in the office. And I tell them, I don't know of any.
I think you're right. Yeah, there's a few I've been to where there's a fair number of agents, but they're few and far between.
Seems like
more commercial ones.
Seems like. So as part of your business, do you go to live events?
Oh yeah. I go. I every week I go to at least one networking event, like in the evening, and I try to advertise them as much as possible. I'll post on Facebook and LinkedIn. Hey, everyone, I'm going to this real estate mixer tonight. Come meet me there, because then that helps the sponsors of the event too. As well as calling attention to me being there and stuff.
So what are good events for a real estate agent looking to network with investors and source of business? What's a good place for a real estate agent to go to meet more people?
Well, there's that event every month, Los Angeles Real Estate Investors Expo over at the Iman Center.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah,
I've got a few that are coming up. There's the LAX Chamber of Commerce. They have one every month. There's just every month there's different ones. I'm just starting to find some of the best ones. There's a real estate and cigars one. There's the Laurel Tavern. Every month I just Google real estate mixers and see what comes up on Eventbrite. If they're not too far away, I just go. I've even gone to Orange County.
That's how I met you. Was you came to my event that we're marketing on Eventbrite.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm coming to the next one at the studio in March.
Good, excellent. Yeah. Well, Dan, thanks for your time today. And for those watching this, again, if you're a real estate agent in the probate space in particular, in general real estate, or an investor, you need to work with a title representative, or your realtor does, and to get the access to the information and to use the resources they bring to the market. Provident is a long-standing successful company. Dan's been in the business a while. It has great internal knowledge, not just a salesperson, but knows how the business works. So I would encourage you to reach out. Dan, what's the best way for somebody? I know you gave the number earlier, but just to wrap up here, what's the best way for somebody to get a hold of you?
Yeah, just give me a call, 424-326-6514, or send me an email, dan@providenttitle.com. And I'm always on the clock, so even if anyone has a question today on President's Day, I'm available.
Fantastic. Well, Dan, I'll put the information in the description down below on our video. Thank you so much for your time today, and have a great week.
Yeah, for sure. See you soon, Bill.